This initiative was created knowing that water is essential to a life-sustaining future. And we really wanted to set Milwaukee up as a leader, as a water-centric city who showcases this leadership in managing our natural water resources in a sustainable and resilient way. I did put a link in the chat, but we have a full website about the Water Centric City initiative that's very nice and interactive, has a lot of resources. It's milwaukee.gov/WCC. So feel free to check that out too. So what is the Water Centric City initiative? Again, we recognize Milwaukee as a city built on water with 3 rivers and the Great Lakes here. Water plays a key role in our city's history, identity, and economy. That's why so many people enjoy living in Milwaukee because we are right on the water. In the 21st century, access to a sustainable supply of clean drinking water and smart management of our water resources will be one of the defining challenges for Milwaukee and for other cities around the world. And so this is a challenge that we take seriously, and we know that we have other like-minded partners in tackling this challenge. So some quick Milwaukee water facts for you. Did you know that the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District's deep tunnel can hold 521 million gallons of water? Further, the Great Lakes hold 84% of North America's surface freshwater. So Milwaukee is a great place to live. The Great Lakes also contain 21% of global surface freshwater. And Southeast Wisconsin is home to more than 23,000 water jobs, which is incredible. We know that water has many facets, and to thrive, we have to address all of these elements of water. For example, we know clean drinking water is essential not only for human life and health, but also for our industry. We know that clean water bodies attract people and real estate investment. We like to look at the views, and we know that people like living near the water. They also support fish and aquatic life, our non-human, you know, creatures that live on the planet with us. And during extreme storm events made more common by climate change, water can threaten people and property. And this goes into that challenge of understanding our role with water and taking the steps to manage it in a sustainable way. So, the Water Centric City initiative has 7 principles, which I'll talk through today. The first is water leadership, then arts, talent, culture, and education, water technology, green infrastructure, applied water research and policy, fishable, swimmable rivers and water bodies, and sustainable and a healthy water supply. These 7 principles were developed with the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee School of Freshwater Sciences, and they are consistent with the International Water Association's WaterWise Cities 17 principles, so a shorter list, which we've also endorsed. And the water-centric framework is intended to be complementary to the U.S. Water Alliance's One Water movement. The City of Milwaukee's environmental collaboration is a partner on the regional One Water group that is composed of many partners, including MMSD, Waterworks, and others working on water challenges in the area. So let's dive into these a little more. So what do we mean by applied water research and policy? Sustainable water policy requires a foundation based in science, research, and the best available data. We know that to ignore the physical limits of our ecosystems and our water supplies will cause long-term harm to our city and our residents. And so we look to our research institutions to provide us with the best options for policy and for the actions we take at the city. Next, a fun one, arts, talent, culture, and education. We know people enjoy spending time near beautiful water. Lakes, rivers, and oceans can provide scenic views, recreation, and a sense of peace, wonder, and possibility. And so it's great to have partners in the arts and education space who help to foster this, sense of wonder around water and help engage the community around what it means for everybody. Fishable, swimmable rivers and water bodies. We know that the Clean Water Act established a federal policy for restoring our water resources with the goal of making all U.S. waters fishable and swimmable. But we know that there's still more work to do on non-point source pollution, and that kind of gets into the work of green infrastructure. Um, the built environment on land affects our water quality and our resilience to extreme storms. And Milwaukee's doing a great job on green infrastructure. Cities with too much hardscape or impervious uh, or pavement, um, such as uh, parking lots and roads, they disrupt the natural flow of water and also contribute to urban heat islands and flooding. So what can we do with nature-based solutions to improve that? A sustainable and healthy water supply is critical and certainly worth conversation. Reservoirs, surface water supplies, or aquifers must recharge at a rate equal or greater than the rate of water withdrawn by residents, businesses, and agriculture. And we see problems with that in other parts of the country as well. And so when we talk about a water centric city, we have to talk about the water supply for our residents. Water leadership. Water is essential for human life. And with continued population growth and globalization, pressure on our limited water supplies is growing. We do have great leadership from our mayor, and we'll get into his involvement with a binational organization with other leaders around the Great Lakes in addressing water challenges. And finally, you heard me share the statistic about water jobs. So water technology is really important in Milwaukee, and technology has the power to make life more convenient, connected, can also help us to access, treat, and deliver water more efficiently than ever before. And water technology is really an exciting topic for our city. All right, so let's get into it a little more. So applied water research and policy. So you heard me mention that many regions face a host of water problems. These can be sources of chemical contamination by pharmaceuticals or personal care products. We've heard about invasive species or exotic pathogens. And to advance our understanding of these complex issues, we do need multidisciplinary and multi-organizational approach. We can't just think about addressing these problems from one point of view. Some great partners in this work, which I mentioned earlier, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee School of Freshwater Sciences, including its Center for Water Policy, is the only graduate program of its kind in the country dedicated to studying freshwater resources. We have worked with classes on different projects. We've had some great interns from the school and have really enjoyed the partnership there. The Freshwater Collaborative of Wisconsin is a partnership of Wisconsin's 13 public universities on water research and workforce. And Sweetwater, or the Southeastern Wisconsin Watershed Trust, Inc., convenes a science and advisory committee and policy advisory committee to advise stakeholders on watershed restoration goals in Milwaukee. And one quick spotlight for applied water research and policy would be the Milwaukee Beach Cleanup. A couple years ago, studies found multiple sources of water contamination at Milwaukee's beaches and led to the adoption of mitigation measures to stop the problem at its source. And now we see residents really engaging um, with the beaches in a new way because the water is something that they're more drawn to. That second principle, again, arts, talent, culture, and education. We talk about how people enjoy being near the water and how there's this sense of peace, wonder, and possibility that comes along with water. Cities can create infrastructure to sustain and restore natural water bodies while increasing community access to these assets. Um, there's so much that's being done in Milwaukee to tell our water story. Some of those projects include the Milwaukee Urban Water Trail Map, which is a great resource on public water access points developed by Milwaukee Riverkeeper. So if you want to put your kayak into the water, but you're not sure where you could do that, that's a great example of how the map can help to bring residents to the water and understand how they can engage with it. Milwaukee Water Commons is another great partner that uses art like the We Are Water installation on Lake Michigan to educate the public. And that's always a wonderful community event and very beautiful. Bradford Beach was once a underutilized beach that now serves as a gathering place for the community to relax and recreate. If you've ever seen the beach volleyball competitions going on in the summer, you really see the way that people gather at that space. The Milwaukee River Walk is another project that connects residents to Milwaukee's three rivers, restaurants, arts, and entertainment spaces, and continues to expand, which is very exciting. And Harborview Plaza is the first waterfront public park in Harbor District, home to Sturgeon Fest. And um, that community gathering is a wonderful way to bring people to the water over by the School of Freshwater Sciences. And the Harborview Plaza was a great collaborative effort in that space. One spotlight on arts, talent, culture, and education would be Milwaukee's Water Stories. Um, there's an online technology and storytelling tool that engages the public about the city's community, green infrastructure projects, and other water related stories. Um, and if you go to our website, milwaukee.gov/WCC, you can find the link to that tool. We also recently finished our water current walking tour. Um, and there is a map on the website as well. Here's a smaller graphic of it as, on the slide. Um, but the water current walking tour was envisioned by different water partners to tell a story that people can, do on their own time or with others. So it's a self-guided walking tour that includes educational signs and artwork, and takes you through the Walker's Point neighborhood, the Water Technology District, and into the Harbor District, to experience different buildings and other water-related assets. And tour stops include the Harley-Davidson Museum, which has great green infrastructure installation along the water, Rockwell Automation Headquarters, which has a green roof, and they do have bees up there and do make local honey. What we call Confluence Point, which is over by Screaming Tuna and is the area on the water where the rivers converge, all three rivers. Boone and Crockett, which has a water access point for kayaking and has a beautiful view of the home bridge. Paleofido Eco Arts Park, Arts at Large, developed this space for the community to come together around art. And there is a stage that is also green infrastructure and captures stormwater in that area. Harborview Plaza, which you heard me talk about just a slide ago, and our Global Water Center, which you'll hear a little bit more about when I talk about water technology. So again, we have a tour map, and there's also information about all the stops online, so you can do a virtual tour on our Water Centric City website, but the direct link for that is milwaukee.gov/water tour. Moving on, our third principle, that fishable, swimmable rivers and water bodies. We talked about the Clean Water Act and how we address point source pollution, but now face the more difficult task of reducing polluted stormwater runoff from streets, parking lots, and other forms of non-point source pollution. Two projects that I'd love to highlight would be the Menominee Valley and Kinnickinnick River naturalizations, which have converted 300 acres of former brownfields to trail and native plants and removed thousands of feet of crumbling concrete to expand the river from 60 to 200 feet wide, as well as the North Avenue and Estabrook Dam removals that have restored engineered spaces to natural habitats for fish and wildlife. And in this work, we of course have to spotlight the Waterway Restoration Partnership, which is a group of trusted community partners, of which the City of Milwaukee is one, working together to clean up what we refer to as the Milwaukee Estuary of Concern, Milwaukee Estuary, so that it's no longer an environmental protection area of concern. Um, and the Milwaukee Estuary does include the three rivers and Lake Michigan. There's a great website that you can learn more about the work of the Restoration Partnership, and I would encourage you to do so. So some more efforts by the city to tackle pollution prevention. Another kind of astounding statistic is that every year 22 million pounds of plastic pollution enters the Great Lakes, half of which flows into Lake Michigan alone. And like in many communities, you can see litter on our beaches and our streets and our waterways every day. And we know that plastic never truly decomposes, but breaks into smaller pieces called microplastics that end up in our water, our food, and our bodies. Some things that the city has done on this include in 2020, we passed a law, which I'll call the Milwaukee Straw Law, that prohibits food establishments from providing customers with single use plastic straws. There are some exemptions to this, but the state of Wisconsin does limit the ability of the city to regulate single use plastics, and this is one step that we have taken um, because straws are not technically considered a container, that we can reduce this one source of single-use plastic at bars and restaurants. The Plastic Free MKE Coalition is a great resource for plastic reduction work in Milwaukee. They also have a great website you can check out. ECO is proud to be a core organizing member of the Plastic Free MKE movement. We've supported with interns through our office. We do have an intern this semester supporting the work that they were doing. You can get involved with the coalition as a volunteer, or you can take the pledge to be plastic free. Local businesses can get involved with the Lake Friendly Business Program, which helps them to make, well, it audits their practices and then helps them to make better choices about providing plastic, switching to reusable or compostable options. And there's also the Lake Friendly Neighborhood Program, of which Sherman Park is a part of, which helps to engage residents further in reducing plastic use. We also have a green events guide, which was our presentation last week that we've developed, which helps organizers as they are thinking through how they want their event to look to purchase, plan, and promote as sustainably as they can. You can find a brochure and also a whole website resource at milwaukee.gov/green events. All right, green infrastructure. So green infrastructure practices allow stormwater to contribute to a functioning watershed that resides within the urban landscape, unlike conventional pipe drainage such as storm drains, which are designed to move stormwater away from the urban landscape. The City of Milwaukee does have a green infrastructure plan, which was developed in partnership with the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District's plan. And we do have a goal of capturing 36 million gallons of stormwater by 2030, with projects prioritized for reconstructed streets, schools, and parking lots. And we do have a publicly available map at milwaukee.gov/GI. So that's GI for green infrastructure, which shows all the green infrastructure projects in Milwaukee, how much water they capture, and has other like filters you can apply to understand, you know, what how the how the project kind of exists within the community. I can share that as of this week, we are at 70% of our goal already for 2030. And so I feel pretty confident that we're going to reach it. Continuing down on this list of our partners, so I mentioned the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District. They have a green infrastructure goal of capturing 740 million gallons of water every time it rains by 2035. and they're carrying out this vision with funding, programs, and education. Reflow is another wonderful partner. The Green and Healthy Schools program is a wonderful program to install green infrastructure, provide science education, and transform Milwaukee Public Schools outdoor play spaces. Their website has before and after pictures of the different schools that have taken part in the program, and it's really exciting to see the transformations they've made. Other partners include Groundwork Milwaukee's Urban Garden Network, which supports community gardens across the city, and Clean Wisconsin offers green infrastructure workshops to support the community in installing vegetation. Our spotlight, I know there's a lot on green infrastructure. Again, there's a lot of great work being done on this in our community. Would be the Fresh Coast Resource Center, which the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District has available as a great online resource. The center can assist the community with projects like rain barrels and gardens, porous pavement, bioswales, green roofs, native planting, and funding. And it's always open to the public to ask questions. Um, And just a little bit more on green infrastructure. So we know climate change will increase heavy rainfall in the Midwest, creating flood risk. In urban areas, impervious surface, like I mentioned, actually prevents water from being absorbed into the ground and can cause more runoff into sewers and waterways, which causes pollution. As I mentioned in 2019, we did pass a green infrastructure plan, and the plan is aimed at reducing these threats, as well as green infrastructure also improves air quality, reduces summer temperatures, aids in beautification of neighborhoods, and supports recreation. The picture on the bottom is actually at Fondy, and that's one of the native rain gardens installed there in the summer in bloom. Some key takeaways from the green infrastructure plan. All large developments and redevelopments are required to capture the first half inch of rainfall using green infrastructure. And the city partners with local organizations to support training and job opportunities for residents around green infrastructure work. Number 5, sustainable and healthy water supply. So we know that in order to have sustainable water supply, we need to meet performance requirements of quality and quantity over the long term. Protecting our drinking water also requires limiting or eliminating toxins and pollutants from entering our natural water bodies, particularly those that are difficult to treat with current technology. The Milwaukee Water Works is an award-winning leader in affordable, high-quality drinking water and has been recognized nationally for its water quality monitoring and operations. The Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District is another partner in this work. They measure and assess water quality for early detection of wastewater, industrial pollution, and illegal dumping. And a spotlight on this principle would be the lead service line replacement program. Since 2017, the city has supported homeowners' desires to replace lead service lines and systematic removal and provide financial assistance. And that work keeps building into the future. Number 6, water leadership. So we talk about the challenges of water being a global issue, and World Water Day, I believe, was last week. Um, and so when we talk about these challenges, it helps to talk with other communities and learn from them. Mayor Johnson is a member and director of the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Cities Initiative, a binational organization between Canada and the US. And he also serves as the co-chair of the Mayor's Commission on Water Equity for this organization. It includes mayors from 175 member municipalities, and I believe that number has grown since I've written this. And again, in the US and Canada. And again, the goal of this organization is to protect and restore the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Basin, which provides drinking water for 40 million people and contains 21% of the Earth's surface freshwater. A quick spotlight for water leadership is World Water Cities Cooperation. In 2017, the Water Council signed an agreement with representatives of 10 global cities to ensure more stable supplies of water resources throughout the world. All right, and our last principle, water technology. So, water technology is helping to make the world more convenient and connected. And the new inventions help us to access, treat, and deliver water more efficiently than ever before. Milwaukee's water technology district includes Reed Street Yards, which showcases water technologies and practices and includes the headquarters of several water businesses. The Water Council, which you heard about briefly before, connects academia, civic leaders, water innovators, researchers, and businesses to solve our most pressing human and environmental health challenges around the world. And the Global Water Center is a great space, again, on the water tour that you can check out, which is the home of the Water Council. And a spotlight here would be technology accelerators. The Global Water Center offers the Brew Accelerator, twice annual tech challenge, and water technology pilot program to foster innovation. I want to acknowledge our partners in the Water Centric City initiative. As you have heard, it encompasses many different areas. And so this work cannot be done by one person or one organization alone. Our success comes from collaboration. And as our director likes to say, as the Environmental Collaboration Office, collaboration is our middle name. So our partners include government, academia, businesses, and nonprofits, all working together to make Milwaukee a world-class center of water innovation and restoration. The following are only a sample of many organizations helping on water. And I won't read through all of these, but there are links on our website at milwaukee.gov/WCC where you can check out our partners' websites and also find their resources and get to know more about the work that they're doing in greater detail. That's the end of my prepared presentation. Just a reminder to connect with us. If you aren't already, you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X, EcoCity MKE. We also have a YouTube channel. And we do have a quarterly newsletter, which is a great source of updates about what our office is working on. And it's not, we won't send you too many emails, so it's a nice digestible communication that you can find at milwaukee.gov/eco. On the right-hand side of the website, there is a link to sign up for the newsletter.